It's 5 in the morning, and I'm sitting in the middle of an intersection in Taichung, one of the largest cities in Asia. This is the lowest I've ever been. So low that the music from someone entering the 7-Eleven around the corner causes me to almost break down. I turn to my friend who's sitting next to me, and I want to say something, anything, but I can't. There's only silence. I should probably start from the beginning. See, I don't have a place that I can really call home, because I was born in Guatemala to 2 Taiwanese immigrants. I had the word outsider written all over me. At school, I would be the only Asian kid in a classroom full of Latino kids who weren't always so welcoming. At home, I had no one to turn to because my brother was too young and no one else was around. One of the earliest memories that I have is of me sitting in a classroom. It's probably a Friday because the teacher's asking us, ¿Qué van a hacer este fin de semana? She's asking what we're doing this weekend. And all these kids, they're listing out places they're going, movies they're watching. And I'm sitting here confused. I'm like, why is the weekend so special? Why is everyone always asking this question at the end of every week? And I'm confused because my parents worked 7 days a week. And on the odd holidays or days off, they would be too busy catching up with chores in the house or their own lives. To make things worse, I didn't have any friends at school. It was hard to make any when my parents could not afford a babysitter or drive me around to different activities after school. Instead, when school finished, they would drive me to the store that they owned. It's a lot like the dollar stores that you see here, except everything was in quetzales, the Guatemalan currency. At the store, my parents would be too busy working with customers, so I had nothing to do but sit in a corner and think about the horrible things that happened at school. One particular memory comes to mind. Oye, ¿qué hace gordito chinito? It's Augusto, shouting at me from across the yard. He's surrounded by his group of friends, something I'm reminded that I don't have. This is 3rd grade recess, and gordito chinito sounds like a cute playground rhyme that kids would say to each other. But what gordito chinito actually means is fat Chinese kid. And it stings. It hurts because I know I'm fat. And it stresses me out to the point that sometimes I would hide in the bathroom or pretend to vomit in the nurse's office just so I could skip gym class. But do I let Augusto know this? Of course I don't. Instead, I jump off the swing I'm on and I walk over to him. Now I'm obviously a big guy from what he said, and Augusto's a skinny little kid. So this is unfair, but before he can react, I punch him right in the stomach as hard as I can, and he falls over. His friends are too shocked to react, and if we're being honest, I feel good. I feel really powerful. And this is one of the few times in my life when I feel like I'm in control. I walk away before they can do anything else, and they never bother me again. I love Guatemala for a lot of reasons, the food, the weather, the culture, but Guatemala also struggles with violence. When I was in 5th grade, my uncle was killed on the way to the parking lot in a botched robbery from our store. Crime is common in Guatemala, but foreigners are especially vulnerable because they seem like easier targets. And I know I'd been born there and had been raised there, but the way I look will always make me seem like an outsider to the people there. Naturally, my parents decided to send me to live in Texas with my aunt so I could be in somewhere safer. For a while, I was really excited. This was America, the place everybody wanted to go to. And I thought I would finally find a place that I could fit in. It's now about a month into the 2nd semester of 5th grade, and the teacher's telling us to partner up for a math worksheet. This girl who's sitting next to me, she turns around and she goes, "You know, you're strange looking Mexican, but you want to be partners on this one?" And she's smiling with these really cute dimples, and I can't help but say, "Yes, let's be partners." I know she doesn't mean any harm with her statement, but deep down it stings a little bit. As hard as I try, I can't seem to convince anyone here that no, not everything under the border is Mexico. Even the teachers seem to get confused sometimes, which is frustrating. But I don't make a fuss because at least I have friends now, and it's so much better than being alone. Growing up, I started developing this crippling fear of never belonging. Fitting in is easy. It's liking the same thing and pretending to watch the same TV shows as the people around you. But belonging is a much deeper feeling. It's a sense of community and intrinsic sense of trust. And that was something I didn't think I would ever find. In 9th grade, my parents decided to move me back to Taiwan because they wanted me to be closer with relatives and to better understand the place that they were from. I'm in beginner's Mandarin class now. Mandarin is the predominant language in both Taiwan and China. 你的中文听起来好奇怪哦. I've just finished reading a passage and my teacher is telling me that my Mandarin sounds really weird. She's being honest about it, which is nice, but she has that look on her face. It's the same look I get from the cashier at the grocery store and the waitress at the restaurant. It's the same look I get everywhere I go. And I know what they're all thinking. How can someone who looks Taiwanese and is living in Taiwan not be able to speak the local language? I don't say anything to my teacher. I don't ever respond to any of them. Instead, I shift my accent slightly and I reread the passage to her in the way that she believes it should be read. I pass, but deep down, I know I've just given up another piece of myself. 4 years pass like this, and I find myself back in the middle of that intersection where we started the story. It's 5 in the morning, and I'm about to have that meltdown. I turn to my friend Pierre, who's sitting next to me, and I want to cry, to scream, to say something, anything, but I can't. Pierre's half French, half Taiwanese. He's an outsider like me, but he was born there and he had been there his entire life, so he had found a place for himself. While we got along really easily, I didn't ever believe that he could fully comprehend what I struggled with. Suddenly, the music from the 7-Eleven rings again as someone walks out and I start ugly crying. Now, those of you who know me will know that I'm generally not too good at being emotional in front of other people. Even now, telling the story is a bit challenging, but I was there, sobbing, and I turn to him and I go, dude, I don't think I can ever be happy anywhere. I'm trying to be happy here and I can't do it. And he turns to me, surprised, and in a way only teenagers could. He goes, bro, what's wrong? And I'm still crying, and I go, because I know that we'll be graduating soon, and I'll have to say goodbye to all the friends I've made here again, and this will just be another place I can't call home. He thought about that for a second, and then, with a kind of anger that I'd never seen before, he asked me, are you kidding me? I've been stuck here my entire life, but you've been everywhere. You don't have any place to call home because you have so many to choose from, and that's a privilege most people will never have. I felt like I should have said something then, but I was too shocked to respond. Over the years, I've thought a lot about what he said and the way it changed my perspective. Here was someone who was my best friend, someone who I would have given anything to be, wishing that he could be me. And more than that, he was right. While I can't stay in one place forever, I can always keep with me the best parts of each, and that's what matters. These days, I work with refugees and immigrants. It can be challenging and extremely frustrating at times, but it's also rewarding. Because at the end of the day, I know exactly what it's like to come into a new country hoping to find a place to belong, hoping to find a new home. And the truth is, home isn't a place. Home is an idea. It's the people around you. And that's why I do what I do, to bring a piece of home, my home, with every person that I work with.